Welcome back to Briggs on Books. We've been talking to authors from all over the world today. We had one in Scotland, we had one in England, we had one in India. Now to a very remote place called Massachusetts. Welcome. Let's welcome our guest, Jeffrey Weber. Welcome, Jeff.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, I love authors' stories, their background. You're a scientist, like a science engineer, a computer engineer, mathematician. You studied math. You studied even grad school. You did some math and computer sciences. Then one day you said, I'm going to be an author. How'd that come about?
Well, I've been reading this stuff since always. And I forget if it was my mother or my wife said, hey, you like all this weird stuff. You should write a book. So I started toying with it in actually 1993. So it took me almost 20 years to write the first book.
20,
just
yeah.
off.
And you couldn't stop writing. You ended up with a long book that you broke up into 3 parts?
Yes, I ended up with 100,000 words. I split it in 2. It seemed to me most of the stuff that I enjoyed reading were smaller books with sequels.
Yes.
That seemed to be the trend on especially on Nook Books and Amazon.
Yeah.
So that's what I decided to do. I split it in half, wasn't quite done. Finished up the first half, and then finished up the second half, published it, then did the second one, and then started working on the third one, which is now also out, and I'm 3/4 of the way through the fourth one at the moment.
Oh, nice, nice. So you can't stop writing now.
No, it's sporadic. I'm a seat of the pants writer. I don't have much of a plan or anything, especially with this one. I obviously knew where it started, but that's all.
Tell me the name of the series. I don't know how to say this word.
Oh, I pronounce it Enimnori.
Enimnori. Just like it
It's,
looks.
I have an odd sense of humor. It's Iron Mine spelled backwards.
Oh, gotcha. Iron Mine. Very good. Tell me what's it about. The genre science fiction?
It's science fiction / fantasy. It's about an engineer from California, actually, who gets accidentally zapped into a world, medieval-ish level, where magic is real. So it's about his interacting with them on their world and trying to help them out with modern knowledge and try and teach them a little bit now and then.
Kind of a true life time traveler?
It feels that way to a lot of people. I've gotten comments to that effect. It's not time travel. It's like different universe.
Whole different universe, a different existence. So we're not going to see California landmarks in there or anything like that.
No, nope, not at all. As a matter of fact, the place he goes has 2 moons.
2 moons, nice.
Yeah.
Now, who's going to be reading this? The science fiction lovers, fantasy lovers?
I've been told it's primarily like science fiction with a touch of fantasy by some people who've read it, and the term magical realism was used a couple times.
Magical realism, yeah.
But it's a combination, really. It's sci-fi mostly, I guess.
Well, there's a giant group of people out there who love this kind of stuff. I'm going to read it for once. You can count me as a reader. And it's just how I was reading the synopsis and a little bit about it, and I said, I'm going to read that one. So you're up to 1 reader, Jeff. Not really. I have a ton of them.
One more. Okay.
One more. Now, we talked a little beforehand, before we came on the air, but you're in Massachusetts, and what's the weather like there?
Right now, I haven't been outside today, and I live in a finished basement down here, so I can't tell what it's like. I think it's just kind of overcast. It's cold. My app on the computer says 24 degrees.
Oh, my goodness. And did you see some snow these last couple of days?
No. There was a weather warning this afternoon that we might get a couple of inches, but like I said, I haven't been out.
Yeah.
But nothing significant.
Yeah. Now
we got a foot like a week and a half ago, about a foot or so.
Wow, that's unbelievable. In California, we don't have snow. We don't have cold weather, so we're all freezing out here, and it's in the 50s, so we're all beside ourselves. Now, we have some information on the screen, your Instagram, Twitter, things like that. What are people going to find there?
Oh, honestly, not much.
Not much. Okay.
I go on Twitter occasionally just to post when I write a new book or when I have another interview or something.
let people know
but I'm
about
not
it.
very active on that. I'm on Facebook a little more than Twitter,
Okay.
but I don't really post. I never know what to say. I said, I never wrote a book. Want to buy it?
Say, right, buy my book, buy my book. That's a good thing to say. In fact, that's what we're here today to do, is to show off your book a little bit and encourage people to buy it. And a thought I had is for a book like this is that I might go and not buy one copy. I might buy 3 or 4 copies and give them out, because I like everybody around me reading the same book at the same time I'm reading it. So for our viewers, there's a little hint. Buy a couple copies of the book.
Yeah, unfortunately, the physical books are horribly expensive these days.
Yeah.
So I'm more pushed. The Nook books they've been discounted. They're $2.99.
Yeah. What do you call it? The Kindle or whatever. I saw it on Amazon just now, $2.99.
Kindle, Apple.
Yeah. I've only my kids say I read analog books. You know, it's old-fashioned. I love to hold and read the book. I've not tried with the Kindle, or maybe even my iPhone I could read them. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll try that with yours.
You can't. There is something about holding a book in your hand,
Yeah.
especially if you want to go back and you somebody orders at page 24.
Yep.
Whereas on the Kindle, you got to scroll. Yeah. Actually, I guess there was a bookmark feature, but I never figured out how to use it.
Figure out how to use that. Yeah, I've never used the Kindle yet either, so I'm going to try it out. Jeff, what do you want our viewers to know about your book? About your books, I should say.
It's hard to. Well, my engineer friend there is his name is Scott. I kind of picture Chuck Norris a little bit. He's heavily into martial arts as well as being an engineer, and he's also a member of their equivalent of the SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronism. So he's into medieval reenactments. So he fits in with this place a little better than the normal person might.
Yeah.
He has a family. He's married with 2 children. So that's a stressor on him as well as for leaving the children. And they think he's dead. But,
he's just gone, and they don't know.
Right. What happened? He was at a quote experimental high voltage power station delivering some parts. There was a lightning strike, and the building exploded. And he was with another guy that just found bits and pieces of him. He was just gone.
Yeah.
So they think he's dead.
And somehow that was able to allow him to transport to another universe.
Right. There was a lightning storm in the other world. There was this young magician who was his caravan was being attacked by a monster, a very large creature. And in his what do I do? What do I do? He tried combining a summoning spell with a weather control spell to call lightning. And between the storm there, the storm here, and the voltage power station, it created a rift and sucked Scott through, as well as also killing the monster.
Killed the monster. Nice. Now, tell us about your background. You were a mathematician or a computer designer?
I have a bachelor's in mathematics. I've always loved math. Not high math, just little. I'm okay up to differential calculus and integral calculus. Beyond that, I get kind of lost. But then when I got hired at General Electric for a math thing, I started doing my own little computer support tasks. And somebody said, "Hey, that's great. Can you do something like that for me?" And then I became a computer person.
Yeah. When I went to college, maybe you too, but we didn't have computers when I was in college. It came up the tail end.
Right. We still had the big computer where you use card decks.
Yeah.
So I grew up with card decks and COBOL and Fortran.
Is that like we had the punch cards? Is that?
Yeah, punch cards.
Yeah.
Cards.
We had just had them for a short period. In my last year, they're tearing out our calculator lab. I said, "What are you guys doing?" I'm in my project, and they're putting in these computers for us to use. It was amazing time to go through college and discover all that. And so you're at General Electric. Next thing you know, you're deep into it.
Yeah, I was one of the last. I think we were the last class to seriously use a slide rule.
Slide rule, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I'm old.
Yeah.
But,
now, did you use some of that background in your books?
Yes, I've been, like I said, I've been reading fantasy and sci-fi forever, and I've always had little like daydreams, mental conversations, where I'm trying to explain modern science in terms that someone from the medieval period will understand.
I understand.
So he does that. He
Yeah.
tries to explain science in medieval terms to help them understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a couple of people think that they like the little sciencey bits.
Sciencey bits in it. So would you say that your protagonist is from the 90s or the 2000s?
He's from now.
From now. Yeah.
2000s, 2010s maybe.
And he's...
I didn't put a specific time on it,
yeah,
but pretty much now.
Yeah. So all of a sudden he's in some kind of medieval times, and he's got to find ways to communicate and talk about his ideas and things like that. That's a great, great idea that you came up with, Jeff. I cannot wait to read the whole book.
It has worked, I think.
Yeah. Listen, Jeff, they're signaling me. I could talk to you all day because you're fascinating, but any last thoughts you want our viewers to know about you or your books?
Well, just a little hint that all is not as it seems there.
Okay.
It looks like the world, but it kind of isn't.
Okay. It's not all as it seems. Well, thank you, Jeff Weber, all the way from Massachusetts, a cold spell, or maybe it's not cold to you guys. Maybe it's temperate weather.
This is moderate.
Moderate weather. Very